How's it going, everybody? My name is FaZe Crypto. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Clout. You can add us on Snapchat and just screenshot the Snap code, and then you could stay in contact with us. We had enough requests for people who wanted that, so there you go. But anyways, this video is also a popularly requested video. A lot of people wanted us to talk about Tron. You really have to hand it to Tron. They definitely learned from a lot of mistakes that were made by EOS. And I think moving forward, we're definitely going to see this sort of strategic maneuvering paying off for Tron as they move forward step by step. I have a lot of faith in Justin Sun. I really think that we're going to be seeing a lot of these different variables coming together in this light. I was reading this article right here that was exploring the community reaction to the TRON'S MainNet launch, and in particular how it really outperformed that of the EOS. And it is interesting to see this sort of how smaller, lesser known altcoins that get less publicity have managed to outperform these leading really key players. It does say a lot about the potential that's in store, especially and respectively when you think about the decentralized approach that Tron's taking. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how these things move forward so far. So I'm going to tell you a secret. The most commonly asked question that I get in the comment section is, when Lambo? When are we going to get the Lamborghinis, people? This is the questions that need to be answered. No, I'm just kidding. The question is involves regulations. It involves the volatility of the space, and really how the shift in regulations and how it's going to affect the different players in the space. And I think that this is really the conversation that's going to be a key player in seeing how the future unfolds for cryptocurrencies, because with this sort of volatility, it makes it very difficult for just average everyday people to get involved, because there's still that risk variable. See, the thing that people don't realize is that my boys over at Tron, they're really hardworking. The men and women who work on these projects that are significantly smaller in comparison to EOS, well, they get less praise for all the work that they put in, when EOS just gets all of this attention just completely injected into it, which ultimately I think Tron has really worked itself in a pressure vacuum of criticism, and we're starting to see Tron developing in a way that's really advantageous respectively across the board. I think what the team is doing in particular, I'm paying attention to Justin Sun, paying attention to basically when people in the United States attempt to configure an understanding of projects like Tron, they fail to understand the reality of these personas like Justin Sun. See, he's a very major celebrity in places like his home country and so forth, which is a completely other has a completely other perception of celebrity. They really have they really value tech performance people, and Justin Sun is really one of those rock stars in that world. You see, in the United States, people value like football players and so forth, but Justin Sun is essentially a Tom Brady of the crypto world. So I'm really excited to be seeing how it's going to be performing in the near future, especially Tron's approach to the decentralization of the internet. I think that the future of the internet really has no choice but to go more and more decentralized as we see these trends moving forward. I think cryptocurrency definitely has a really interesting place respectively as we see these developments continuing to take place. So a lot of really interesting things happening across the board when it comes to Tron, in particular when you take a look at the market cap where it currently is at 272 billion. A little bit of an upward momentum happening happening right there. I mean, it is nice to see any movement upward is welcome in my book, of course. It's a very volatile space, and those people who haven't been involved in cryptocurrency for as long as other people have might panic or might get too excited when they see things happening. I mean, interesting to see NEO where it is right now, up 17%. So anybody who was believing in NEO is probably seeing some celebrations today, and it is interesting to see how the cryptocurrency has been moving along respectively since we're almost we're more than halfway through 2018 now, so we're coming up to 2019, and it is interesting to see. Nobody could have predicted what happened up till this point, but I'm fairly confident that we'll be seeing the space revisiting those all-time highs at some point in the future. So right now, essentially everybody involved, everybody who is holding right now is a long-term holder, and really is those people who've just fallen in love with their own specifically chosen technologies, and we'll see where things go from here on out. So it is interesting to see how a lot of these developments have been taking place, respectively, as we've seen this space develop in such a short amount of time. It is really interesting to see how, because cryptocurrency really is a paradigm shift, and it's happening along with a lot of different technologies and the Internet of Things, and a lot of various different things need to come into order involving regulations and so forth, as we see these technologies really finding their place in the real world. But what I like to think about is what are these technologies actually going to be doing in the real world that's actually going to be having like a human, the way that people live in their day-to-day society. How are they going to be interacting with these technologies? And I think Tron taking that approach that's sort of similar to Steemit, that essentially remodeling and learning from the mistakes of platforms like YouTube and so forth. And essentially, I think that as we see over the next couple of years, with what we saw happening to Facebook and so forth, I think that that path is laid out, unfortunately, for a lot of other social media platforms. Not to say that YouTube doesn't have the chance to save themselves. I think if they listen to their user base a little bit more, they'd probably have more potential. But of course, Tron, I think, is really positioning themselves to capitalize upon a lot of these different variables that we've seen shifting. So it is going to be an exciting couple of months that move us towards the end of 2018, the beginning of 2019, and I think there are a lot of interesting things in the road ahead. And of course, remember, standard disclaimer, I'm not your dad. This video is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Standard disclaimer. I know the audience is pretty well adjusted to this, but it is interesting to just hear what certain people have to say about this. But yeah, it is the Tron coin burn. This is what I'm really interested in seeing, how this is going to having a long-term effect later on down the line. In particular, I think September, and it's really going to be interesting. I was watching this video by Crypto Tone. I definitely recommend that you guys go and subscribe to this channel. I was just watching a lot of different videos that were talking about this sort of topic, and I think that the coin burn is really going to be playing out and having a very interesting role to play as we see this technology and the various different developments that have been happening so far. So really interesting things happen. I think Tron has one of the strongest communities in the crypto space at the moment, and I'm very interested in seeing where Justin Sun has to take this really revolutionary project. Is going to be very interesting. So I definitely recommend that you guys go follow Justin Sun on the Twitter, his Twitter and so forth. And of course, if you're interested, you guys can connect with us on our Twitter as well. You guys, we're at CryptoTuber, and if you guys want, you can also connect with us on Snapchat as well. So a lot of exciting things happening. It's interesting to see so many things in the green today, but it seems only logical what with all the different red that we were seeing over the course of so much time. So good days, bad days, this is why it's important to do your own research and never really trust anybody except for your better wisdom and so forth. But yeah, so up right now we have Ethos and gas. Gas pretty good. I mean, of course, $15 for gas, that's pretty abysmal. The value of NEO is pretty much where gas was. Gas used to be worth 50, and then NEO used to be worth 100, but every crypto is taking a hit. I saw somewhere that like 75% of cryptocurrencies didn't make it. So sad. That's the risk that you play. The risk that comes in. Of course, and Bitcoin dominance at 41%. Of course. It basically speaks for itself. So yeah, all that being said, definitely comment down below letting me know what you guys think, and make sure that you add us on Snapchat, and we can stay connected that way. All that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed this content. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.